subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us in the Quran, وَيْلٌ لِلْمُطَفِّفِينَ الَّذِينَ إِذَا اكْتَالُوا عَلَى النَّاسِ يَسْتَوْفُونَ وَإِذَا كَالُوهُمْ أَوْ وَزَنُوهُمْ يُبْخِسُونَ. Al-Mutaffifun, some people say those who are defraud people, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describes it. الَّذِينَ إِذَا اكْتَالُوا عَلى النَّاسِ يَسْتَوْفُونَ. If they're asking for whatever is theirs, they want to make sure they take theirs 100%. And however, if they owe something to say, they reduce, give them less. And these are mutaffifin. Subhanallah. And we see this. And as a manager in a company, I see it all the time. If you reduce somebody $1, he comes to you and tell you it's a principle. I want my money exactly. But he forgot that he took a day off last week, or he comes in late every day, or this doesn't count. And this is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is describing the mutaffifin. When it's theirs, they want exactly, and it's all a matter of principle. But when it's somebody else's, they forget and they do the calculation in their mind. Subhanallah. But al-amana is to give less, take less and give more. This way you know you're covered. But how many of us really want to take less and give more? And we know that this is al-amana, this is honesty. Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says, the first thing that's lifted from earth before the day of judgment in the last days would be al-amana, or a trustworthy. That they tell us that Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam tells us that two people are talking and say, I know a trustworthy, ameen person in such and such place, and his friend will tell him, no, they don't exist. SubhanAllah. The first thing that's lifted from earth is trustworthiness, that there is somebody ameen. And the last thing that's lifted is the prayers. SubhanAllah. The last thing that's lifted from earth is the prayers. And Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam describes, he says that you will find the mosques full of people. وَلَيْسَ فِي قَلْبِ أَحَدٍ ذَرَّةِ إِيمَانٍ. And not in the heart of any of them small piece of iman. The mosque full of people praying, and not in the heart of them small piece of iman. SubhanAllah. And that's why a lot of people tell me we are going in the right direction. Look at the mosques. I quote this hadith and say, but how much iman is in the hearts of these people? How many times we see when I go back home, after the prayer, two people are fighting together. He didn't have his hand right, he didn't do this. One time somebody sneezed, so somebody told him off after the prayer, and after the prayer they're fighting rather than saluting each other. So as the Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says, the last thing that's lifted is the prayer. But is there iman in the hearts of the people? And Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says also, before the day of judgment, yurfa al-ilm, the knowledge is lifted. So the Sahaba said, Ya Rasulullah, how could be the knowledge lifted when we learn the Quran and we teach our children the Quran? How could it? The knowledge will always be there. We know we'll always teach our children the Quran and they will memorize and learn the Quran. They told him, this is what the people of the book said before you. But they don't follow it. Yes, the book is maybe reserved, but they don't apply it and they don't follow it. And this is what we see. We have the book, it's on cassettes, it's on MP3s, it's everywhere. How many of the Quran is in the house, but how many of us really apply it and follow it? SubhanAllah. Yurfa al-ilm. So Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam told him that knowledge being raised, it's not that the book doesn't exist, we don't apply it anymore. You know, it's there. As we said before, some people tell us, read the Quran for the sawab, but don't try to understand it. Subhanallah. As I mentioned the other day, who gives you a book to say, read this book, but don't try to understand it? And yet they tell us for the Quran, take this book, read it, but don't try to understand it, you can't. Subhanallah. The book of Allah is the only book that they tell us, read it and don't try, you couldn't understand it. When it is the miracle of the Quran, as I said before, the miracle of the Quran is Allah is talking to us, through each one of us, through the Quran. So He's talking to us in a language that each and every one of us could understand and comprehend, not because we should not understand it and only read it for us.